welcome to Unlaced, where we untie the game of basketball from playing and coaching to everything in between. My name is Coach Will. This is my wife, Amber.
Hello.
And today's topic of focus is going to be being a multi-sport athlete versus being a single sport athlete. Yep. And then also balancing schoolwork and academics in between.
But before we go there, what happened to your beard?
Oh, yeah.
It's gone.
My beard. He went on a vacation.
On a vacation.
Yeah, I was just telling everybody I haven't seen my chin in 10 years, and I wanted to see if it was still there.
Is it?
He's still here.
It's already starting to grow back.
Yeah. It doesn't take very long.
Mm-hmm.
Probably by next week I'll have a little bit
of stubbles.
Yeah, chin strap beard, something going on. I don't know. We'll see.
And also, before we start that, it's October, so I got my lace-up shirt on because we're 3 years?
This is 3 years of Lace Up Academy going on, starting year 4.
Mm-hmm. That's exciting.
Very exciting, yeah. I don't got my Lace Up gear on, but I got my Lace Up bag.
Traitor. Traitor to the cause. He's not loyal. Loyal coach.
Oh my gosh.
Not loyal to the
Moving on.
Not loyal to the lace up. Moving on. Okay, go for it. What are we moving on to?
So I just want to talk about my upbringing coming up with sports.
Okay.
I obviously have been a multi-sport athlete. Currently, to this day, I'm a multi-sport athlete. I'm playing basketball still, obviously, and I'm playing adult softball, co-ed softball. We got playoffs today, which I'm pretty excited for.
Yes.
But just I'll start from the beginning.
Wait, let me throw mine in.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
A zero sport athlete. Athletic, yes. I can keep up. Yes. I can do some things. Yes. My sport of choice is tennis.
Mm-hmm.
Because my dad used to take me and my sister to play. My uncle
had some Venus and Serena going on.
My uncle used to call us Venus Serena Jr. He used to call us Venus and Serena. But I would say I'm sport adjacent, not an athlete adjacent.
I would say, like you said, you can hold your own.
You know?
Do enough to get the job done.
I can do some stuff.
Like me at skateboarding, when I learned how to do an ollie, I was done with it.
I don't know what that means.
Oh, just when you're on the board and you just hop with the board and land on the board.
Okay.
I learned how to do that, and I was like, cool, I can skateboard now. I'm done.
Okay. I don't know if that's the same thing as
True.
Claiming you can skateboard, but
True. All right. So I've been playing in organized sports since I was about 4 years old. I started playing with soccer. I think I told you guys already, my dad was my coach and I played. The league we were in was really cool though. So they had 2 teams were in the middle of 2 different fields, and then the coaches would rotate subs in and out on each field, and we would play 2 games at once.
Okay.
It was pretty cool. It was fun because the kids got to just run around and play, and didn't really have a lot of sit down time. So then when I turned was it 8? I think it was 8.
Is it considered multi-sport athlete even that young? Even in the little leagues? Like, are you considered a multi-sport athlete?
I would say so.
Okay.
Yeah, I would, because you can play just one sport, you can play no sports. So there's a lot that goes into that. So I started playing soccer, only single sport from 4 to 8. Yeah, 4 to 8. And then I was older to play in a basketball league, so I started to do both basketball and soccer. Soccer in the fall, basketball in the winter. There was a point where I was playing in 2 different basketball leagues in 1 year. I would play in a Saturday league and then a Sunday league. I think I was still playing soccer at the time. Oh no, I messed up. So 4 to 6 was only soccer. 6 to 8 was soccer and basketball, and then at 8 I focused just on basketball.
Okay.
Yeah. So played 2 different basketball leagues, which was pretty fun. Saturday, Sunday leagues, and then I started playing baseball. Baseball, I think I was it was 11 years old when I started playing baseball, and I played baseball because I like baseball a lot myself, but my dad was also heavily invested in the baseball. He played for the the Blue Jays as a pitcher. He was a very, very. I think it's AAA. I always get those ones confused.
The minor league.
Well, there's 3 different levels. There's AAA, Single A, and Double A.
Okay.
And I can't remember which one is the lower of the 3, but he was in the lower of the 3 as a pitcher.
Is that so? In basketball terms, is that below like G League, or would that be like their G League?
It would be like 3 different levels of G League because there's only.
Why do they have so many?
I'm not sure.
Is that still a thing currently?
I'm also not sure. I couldn't tell you
because I know we have the minor leagues because we go to those games like the 66ers.
Well, I don't know if that's Single A, Double A, Triple A.
Yeah, or if there's any like layers to it.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. So, yeah, I enjoyed playing baseball. It wasn't my favorite sport. I liked basketball a lot more. I think I even liked soccer more at that time. Eventually, I liked baseball more than soccer. And then I think it was 13 when I started playing tackle football. So I played 4 or 5 years of tackle football on and off. I love football, but I was always really, really tiny guy, so I didn't play it as often. So my favorite sports would be basketball, football, then baseball, or softball now, and then soccer.
Do you have any favorite sports that you didn't play? Or all of your favorite sports are because you kind of dabbled in some of them?
I started playing the sports because I liked the sports. And then I found out, which sport I was better at, which sport I was decent at, which sport I was just okay at. I feel like I've always been good at every sport that I tried. And I tried all the sports that I was interested in. Yeah, I never really got into like skateboarding, for example, or I'm trying to think of a team sport, lacrosse. I never really got into any of those kind of sports, so I never really got involved.
So at what point did your multi-sport kind of laser focus into a single sport? And was that by choice, or was it just like a natural, I'm done with all these sports, I want this one sport?
No, I think I just played whatever I was in the mood to play, or whatever season it was. I never really just focused on one single specific particular sport. It's just based on the season or where I was with that year. I mean, obviously, I started with just soccer, so I was only a single soccer sport player at the time. That's because of the age
group.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm talking about as in, I guess, an adult or old enough to make your own decision. Because at some point, I feel like you did like focus just on basketball, no? Or just basketball was just what you were better at?
That was my priority, I would say. Yeah, because at high school, I tried out for baseball, didn't make baseball. I tried for football. I made football freshman year and senior year. I didn't play sophomore or junior year because that freshman year was terrible. So yeah, I would say I played all 3 sports. Because when I didn't make the baseball team as a freshman. That's when I played in the city league, Pelton baseball.
So you didn't just quit baseball; you just moved on to something different.
Yeah, different league,
like different baseball. So let's make them argue. Let's make multi-sport athlete argue with single sport athlete.
Okay.
So let's give. What do you think are the benefits of being a multi-sport? Because you have, that is your thing. You are a multi-sport athlete. So what are some of the benefits? What do you think are some of the benefits?
I would say it trains your body to be able to handle different situations. It helps build different muscles. Like you might work on muscles in basketball that you won't work on in football.
That's true.
Or you might work on muscles in baseball that you won't work on in soccer. So you have to, not have to, but I think there's plenty benefits in being able to play multiple sports. It prevents injuries. It prevents
injuries.
It prevents injuries.
Oh, because I guess because you're moving.
Yeah, you're moving in different ways. You have to stretch different parts of your body, and you're kind of preparing your body for those different sports, different movements. It teaches you how to handle certain different situations. Because if you're only focused on, let's say, soccer, you know how to handle different situations in soccer. When it comes to baseball or basketball or football, you don't have that experience if you don't, if you're playing just the one sport. So I think it trains your body and your mind, and it also makes you a more coachable player.
That's true.
Yeah, you can,
because you have to deal with different types of coaches. It's different sports call for different coaches,
and coaches respect that too because they know that you're able to handle yourself or conduct yourself in a certain way in different situations, and you're able to make the adjustments necessary. Yeah. Should we go on to the downfall of being a multi-sport athlete?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't think there's many negative sides to being a multi-sport athlete, but I will say that it can be draining and stressful on your body at times. Because you finish up one season, maybe you get like a week or two to catch up on homework, and then tryouts
To
start.
catch up on homework, we'll get into the academics.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Catch up on projects, I would say. Or you get a week or two to focus just solely on schoolwork, if I'm trying to get at.
Okay.
Because the season ends, you get a little break, and then tryouts start, and next season starts. So, your grades better be up in that 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks. But yeah, it can be mentally stressful. It can be physically stressful, draining for sure. There's an argument that when you start a new season, you come in refreshed because it's a whole new sport, so it's not really as task or what's wrong for tedious on your body. But there is definitely some.
And what do you mean you come in refreshed as a multi-sport athlete?
Yeah,
starting a new season.
Let's say in the fall, right? You're doing soccer. You finish your soccer season, and then basketball's getting ready to start up in the winter. Mm-hmm. And people might assume that because you just finished with soccer that you'll come in tired or drained.
Okay.
But it's a whole new season. It's a whole new team. It's a whole new sport.
Yeah.
So you have a different, of a refreshed mindset, refreshed body in that sense. One more challenge I can see, it's probably my last point, is that being a multi-sport athlete, you might have to relearn some of the things that you learned from the previous year because you've been focused on other sports and you've been focused on schoolwork, and it might be minor details that you might need to relearn, but it's important to make sure that we talk about, that is a little bit of a challenge to get over.
I'm assuming it would be the more technical details because I feel like you don't forget fundamentals.
Not at all. Yeah, it's like riding the bike, learning the fundamentals, but yeah, for sure, learning like specific scenarios, situations, certain ways they were in the plays, that sort of thing.
Did you have any of those? What were your challenges switching from sports?
My challenge is that, the most obvious example I can think of is in baseball. I switched positions a lot. Like I started off as a pitcher because I could throw a pretty accurate fastball, but I was young and nobody else really learned any pitches at that time, so I was just throwing fastball. And then as I got a little older, people started learning the curveball and breaking ball and sliders and all this stuff, and I was like, well, I never got that, so I moved on and I started playing shortstop, and I like shortstop a lot because shortstop got a lot of action out there, a lot of balls that hit shortstop.
Yeah, but that's within the same sport. I'm talking about different sports. Jumping from sport to sport, what was your challenges, or did you have any challenges?
It comes back to baseball. I would say my biggest challenge is each year I play a different sport. I would come back to baseball and I would have to learn a different position.
Okay.
Yeah, that was my biggest challenge. Like I played a little bit of running back in football. I mostly played wide receiver and I played defensive back.
So you didn't have any challenges when it came to switching sports. It was just coming back to it. But even if you stayed in baseball, it was only you. Yeah, and you still would have had those issues. So that's not really. I don't think that's really related to switching sports.
Okay.
Because if you stayed in baseball and you were a pitcher, now you got switched to shortstop or something else, you still have to learn that new position.
I guess I related it because it happened each year. It wasn't all in the same year. I was switching positions, so that's why I kind of got that.
I mean, but if you didn't have no challenges, if you that sports guy, then you don't have to create a challenge.
No, I'm trying to think if I can find a better example, and I really don't got. That was the best example I had. So
because you just know what you're doing.
Yeah,
and in the sports.
I guess so. Yeah.
One of the questions I had was, do you think being a multi-sport athlete helps or hurt your main sport? So not everyone has a main sport, but I know eventually your main sport became basketball.
Right.
So do you think switching the different sports helped or hurt your main sport?
I think it helped a lot. I feel like I got quicker on my feet, worked on my balance more. I was able to change directions faster, and I was able to build more leg strength. So I was able to jump a little higher.
That's true, yeah.
Yeah.
Because whatever you take from one sport, you just apply it to, or see how you can apply it to basketball.
Yeah. So, I'm grateful for the time I had playing soccer and baseball and football. Yeah. I don't think it was a challenge in that sense.
Okay, let's argue the flip side.
Okay.
Specializing in one sport. Let's talk about that one. Benefits of that.
Benefits of that.
Yeah.
Getting more reps, getting more experience in playing just the one sport. I would say, like, for example, playing for a school team, playing for an AAU team, playing for a summer league team, just getting constant repetition and playing, for example, basketball.
Mm-hmm.
Become an expert in that sport because you're always constantly doing the same motions and movements, and you know your position very well. You might know some of the opponents very well because you might see them multiple
Often.
times,
Yeah.
oftentimes. Um, Other teams you might come across multiple times. You might even learn different coaching strategies too. Being a basketball specialist player, right? Um, I would say you just that having that experience and having that extra repetition will really, really build your confidence. You'll get all kinds of experience through like trainers and doing different kinds of drills that you do.
Yeah.
And your coach, you might probably work with the same coach for many, many years, many, many seasons, and they
Yeah,
know it.
and that's a positive thing.
Yeah, they know what to expect out of you. You know what to expect from them. Like they know what your goals are, what you're trying to accomplish. I would say there's benefits there for sure. Yeah, so that's something I would say would be a huge benefit for being a single sport athlete.
Okay. Well, personally, what are your own benefits? Because eventually you did focus just on basketball, right? Or no?
I would say
Like
in adulthood,
yeah, I was gonna say even as an adult, like we just stumbled into softball
yeah,
not too long ago, but before that, it's really just been you
and
in
basketball.
basketball.
Yeah, well, I play a lot of softball in Northern California also. So, but
That's true.
yeah, I my focus is my priority has always been basketball. So I guess in that sense, I can speak about being a single sport athlete.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Because I feel like that's the sport that you continually practice.
yeah,
That's
always
the
working
one
on,
that you're always working on.
even in off seasons.
Even
Yeah,
in off season, yeah, you're I mean now softball is more of a thing, so sometimes we do hit the softball, but before that it's putting shots up, it's doing all of these basketball things. So
mhm.
seems like basketball has been your main focus
Right.
for a while.
Yeah, yeah. Basketball has always been my number one sport. I always try to find a good balance, but I still make sure that basketball's still
It's
my
still always like the basketball.
yeah, yeah. So for example, like I've played in two different leagues in a year. I've never done any other sport, just with
Mm,
basketball. Um, I make sure I played basketball every single year. Where like for football, I would take a year or two off. Baseball, I would take a year or two off. Soccer, I kind of dropped once I reached 8 years old and kind of stopped playing soccer altogether.
yeah.
So that in that sense, I would say basketball has always been my main focus, my main priority.
So was it separate when like skill development wise? So you're talking about you doing like the multiple reps and whatnot. So were you on the side even with your other sports still kind of doing, oh let me get some basketball drills in, let me
As a kid, not really. I feel like as a kid, I would like when I would go to the park, I would always be playing basketball. I wouldn't be
mm,
playing baseball or soccer, even in baseball or soccer season.
mm.
But it wasn't really just going in to get reps and practicing to get better. It was just kind of like that was my favorite sport. I'm gonna go play with these guys. They're playing
So
basketball.
was you naturally then just better at basketball
Oh yeah,
than the other sports?
yeah. I would say because I was a natural. I was natural when it came to dribbling. I was really
Mm-hmm.
fast, and I was decent scorer, especially around the basket.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah, I gotta bring a little bit.
oh, am I? I'm sorry.
There we go.
I'm leaning over, like I'm talking to you. So I lean
Mm-hmm.
back in to talk to the camera. Um, yeah, I would say that I was always making time to go play basketball every every season. So basketball's always my favorite sport, always been my priority. But I always want to make sure I make time for other sports as well.
So is there a I guess downfall then to specializing in one sport? That sounds weird to say that it's a bad thing to just focus on one sport.
It does sound kind of weird, but if you think about it, there's so many different sports out there, and like you really gotta prioritize what you want to do each season because basketball isn't really all year round. They have winter league, and then sometimes, most cases, you can find a summer league.
Yeah, but you don't have to play in the league to better yourself.
No, you can go to the park, play pickup. You can go play open gym basketball.
And just developing your skills.
Yeah, staying at
Play
home,
some
practicing at
academy.
home. Yeah, play some academy year round. Um,
But because I know some people are focused on one sport, I don't care about baseball. I want to go to the NBA.
right.
I don't care about that. So that's why I'm saying it sounds weird to be like, well, that's you shouldn't do that. So I'm like, what's the downfall? Is there any downfalls? Could there be any downfalls?
I would say when you are young, it is best to explore as many sports you can, because you might think that football is your best sport and not even realize that you are way better at soccer than you are at football. Like, you might be good at football, but you're actually excellent at soccer, and you might never find that out because you never gave it a chance. I would say when you start really, really young, explore as many sports as you can. I would try to find, like, I like team sports, so basketball, football, soccer, baseball. Those are my focal points. There's plenty of other sports out there. Like, for example, there's like snowboarding, skateboarding.
That's true.
Tennis, like you said. There's golf.
All types of wild sports.
There's really lacrosse. I think is still a wild sport, but it's more popular in the East Coast than it is in the West Coast. Pickleball is upcoming, and it's a big sport also.
Mm.
I don't know how far you can go in pickleball, though.
Yeah,
I don't think
there's a profession. Well,
there might be.
There's always something on TV. Mm-hmm. We're just like the competitive walking.
Oh yeah, there's
at the Olympics.
Yeah. The body sways. And, yeah.
Okay, but once you've explored all the options and I want to stick with golf, what's the downfall then of specializing in golf? Because at that point, once you pick what you want to do, are you still considered a multi-sport athlete if that's all you do is the one sport?
If all you do is the one sport, no, you're a single sport athlete. Yeah. I feel like I'm just going to be repeating some of the positives we mentioned for being a multi-sport athlete, but it also can be negatives for being a single sport athlete. Like, you don't get the kind of
positives of the multi-sport could be a negative for single sport.
Yeah, like example, like you don't get the experience of playing multiple different sports and the positions. You risk getting injured because you're always moving the same body parts. Just
the repetition.
Same repetition, putting the stress on the same body parts. Yeah, you're strengthening those muscles also, but like the amount of stress you're putting on them, they can give.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna repeat what I just said. So
it don't sound like to me that there's a lot of
negatives.
Too many bad negatives, because if you're specializing it, if you want to be a pitcher, yes, you're throwing the ball a lot. It's a lot of repetition on the arm, but isn't that a good thing because you're building muscle memory and that specific skill? But you're also not neglecting the rest of your body. You're still working out. You're still doing all the things.
Yeah, but that Tommy John, I think it's Tommy John.
Oh yeah,
Tommy John surgery is a real thing where pitchers so much repetition.
Yeah, but I feel like that's the one sport. Yeah, that is the one sport where like a pitcher does a lot. Any other sport, to my knowledge, you're not really consistently doing the exact same thing.
Yeah.
Golf, you might mess up your back a little bit.
I don't even know if it's even called Tommy John. I don't know if it's
a shoulder thing
or if it's an elbow thing.
I think it's the elbow.
Yeah. And a lot of pitchers end up getting it because of that constant motion.
Yeah. But any other sport, basketball, for example, what would be
a common injury in basketball?
Yeah. Outside of ankles, yeah.
Outside ankle sprains. But it's all leg injuries, I would say. It's ankle sprains, it's like the water in the knees, shin splints. Yeah, it's all like leg related injuries.
But is that because you're running back and forth? Because a lot of sports you run back and forth.
Well, there's a lot more jumping in basketball.
That's true.
It's running and jumping.
So,
it's not just running, it's not just jumping, it's a lot of both. So,
well, I still feel like I'm still not jumping 100% in on that argument, because I feel like with a lot of other sports, these are just injuries. Injuries happen no matter what you do.
Yeah.
So I feel like just because
it's lower body, upper body.
Yeah. So I feel like just because you focus on one sport doesn't mean you're going to get injured more.
No, I think the chances are slightly higher. Is the argument there? But I would agree to your point. Yeah, it's not guaranteed you're going to get injured more often.
And so we got the athletic parts of it down. So a lot of you work with kids. The kids are in school.
Yep.
And I always find it interesting with college athletes. I'm just like, there's no way you guys are doing school stuff. There's no way.
They have guidance counselors and all this stuff, but also, behind the scenes, there's plenty of extra help going towards the student athletes. Like they get all kinds of breaks. They might not get as much projects. They might get graded a little easier.
Or different classes, different classes in general.
Lab helps.
But the kids who aren't in college, most of the kids that you work with are 8 to 18. So, and some of them are multi-sport, some of them are beginners, some of them focus on one sport. Where does the academics, how does one balance academics with all of that? Because sports is a lot.
It is a whole lot.
It's practices, it's games, it's outside of practice, it's
tryouts,
your own stuff, your own self practice. So, and then you have school. So how does one balance?
You really have to set aside a good amount of time for just schoolwork, homework, for example. You really got to just lock in on that homework and get it done.
Yeah.
And it may be 2-3 hours at a time. It may be after practice. It might be before a game, but you got to make sure that you're keeping a good, tight schedule on your schoolwork. If you have any questions, you need any help, make sure you are able to vocalize that, talk to somebody, talk to a classmate, talk to a teacher, talk to a guidance counselor. But
how did you do it?
Oh, I was self-motivated when it came to schoolwork because I knew that if I didn't have the grades, I wasn't going to be able to play.
And I feel like that's the culture that a lot of, not even just parents, but like coaches are moving towards, or I don't know if they're already there, but it's no longer, oh, he's good, so we don't really care about that grade. It's more so of a...
I feel like it should be more so of like, they need to be more strict with making sure the grades are being met, because the grade point average I think they need to be able to play is not too difficult to reach, in my opinion. So if you are not reaching that grade point average, I feel like it's mostly going to be on the students or the athletes to, like, hey, you need to step it up, man. We're giving you all these opportunities.
So you were self-motivated. Like, what did that look like?
It meant that I was making sure I was completing, doing good on my tests and turning all my homework assignments and participating in class, volunteering to do examples on the board, answering questions. I was involved in class because I wanted to make sure that I had no excuse to not be able to play.
Not play. So was sports the motivation to do good in class, or was it like, no, I'm gonna do good in class regardless, and then sports is just...
It was absolutely sports. I would love to lie to you guys here in this podcast and tell you that I was motivated to do good in school because I wanted
just
to
because you wanted to do good in school.
It was 100% sports, and I realized that when I got to college because I didn't make the college team, and I was like, well, then what am I doing here?
What?
That's pretty much the mindset. What am I doing?
Why am I here if I'm not gonna play sports? Why am I in English class if this doesn't translate to nothing?
Yeah, but I had to reel myself back in because I was like, college is not for sports. College is for academics. College is to better yourself mentally and prepare yourself for real life situations. But I was just like, I didn't make the basketball team. I'll try for baseball. Didn't make the baseball team. There is no football team.
Yeah,
I'm too far gone out of soccer.
So you're just here just to be a student, and that wasn't.
And I was like, this ain't for me, but it's all right. I think I got too comfortable with the student athlete thing in high school and middle school because the system is designed to, like, if you want to play the sport, you got to do good at school. Yeah. And I've had that for so long that when I got to college,
that was the motivation.
I was like, it was like a whole new world for me.
Yeah, it's like, if there's no sport attached to this, why am I here?
Yeah.
So with that, is there, well, I guess, let me see, how do I want to phrase this question? Because for the kids who would be in your same position, because everyone can't make it to college level sports,
right?
And then they decide to either quit sports altogether or quit school altogether. Like, is there pros and cons of that, or it really just depends on the
The
person?
recommendation I would say is if you don't end up playing college sports like I did, be prepared for that to just get focused on just schooling because this is your future. This is your
Yeah.
career you're talking about, setting yourself
Yeah.
up for success in the future. So be mentally prepared for that. Like I was not at all.
Yeah.
Be mentally prepared for you might not be able to play college sports and be okay with that.
When do you then kind of separate the motivation, the correlation from academics to motivation? Because like you said, academics was there because of sports.
Right.
So how and when would you kind of start to tell a student athlete they can't be correlated? You have to want to be good at, academics, and then you also want to be good at sports.
That's tough because you really can't really prepare for that. Like the goal is to make it to the college level, the professional level at some point, right?
If that's the goal.
If that's the goal, and you don't know when that's going to stop.
Yeah.
So it's really hard to prepare for that because you want to keep going and push yourself to be able to make it to that next level. And when you don't, it can be devastating and it can break people.
Yeah. What do you wish someone would tell you, or at least show you how to keep it mutually exclusive? Or because you have that experience, how are you now, or would you even tell student athletes again, like you need to keep it separate? Because because again, you have to go to school. Minimum, you have to go to K to 12.
For sure.
Minimum. But then how do you then not attach it to because I want to play sports?
That's a tough one. I'm gonna do some thinking on that one. I don't know if I can answer that one on the spot, but
because do you think that hurt you that once you got to college and you didn't make any teams, then you decided I don't want to do this anymore? Like,
because that's obviously a downside of it. There, you start losing the academic motivation.
Yeah.
But also, like if you start focusing too much on academics, you might not have enough focus on your training or your repetitions, and you might not be able to reach that college level.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying? So it's a really tough balance.
It is, because if it's I can't go to practice, I won't go to practice because I need to. Because you
want people to have the belief in themselves that they can make it to the college level or even professional level. And if you start telling them that you need to start focusing on academics more, I feel like that's kind of crushing their dreams in that sense. Not entirely. This is an extreme example. But, it just creates that kind of thinking habit or that mindset. So it's a really tough balance.
It is a tough balance, but I think if you have a good support system, that's where the coaches and stuff come in too.
Yeah.
If you have a good support system with the teachers, and I think the teachers and the coaches have to work well together so that they can communicate.
Because I think if you tell somebody 20% of like high school athletes make it to the college level. Let's use basketball for example. 20% of high school basketball players. Let's say if I'm a student athlete and my guidance counselor is telling me, only 25% of high school basketball players make it to the college level, and only 5% of those college basketball players make it to the professional level. If I'm a student and I'm a math guy, I'm going. Well, I might be going. I have no chance of making it to the NBA now. When you realize the number game, or I might be going, only 5% make it. I need to step my game up. I need to really get focused on my sports.
Yeah, to become that 5%.
So it really depends on the athlete. It depends on the person, their confidence level, their skill level, their mindset, and where they're at when it comes to academics and sports. Like it's so wide of a range to really calculate like who's going to make it, who's going to just drop off and go focus on schoolwork.
Do you think there's anything that you could have done differently or would have done differently as far as like managing school and sports, or you think you did a pretty good job?
I think I did a pretty good job. Okay, so I was about out of 100, I would say on average I was between 87 and 92.
Oh wow. Is this high school? Is this
all through high school? Okay. All through high school.
That's pretty good.
I think it was pretty good considering I really slacked off on homework. I didn't really focus on my homework as much. I think if I did, because I was a great test taker. I was involved and engaged in class, and because of that, my confidence went up, and I felt like maybe I don't need to go home and study as much. I don't need to do my homework as much if I can focus on
Yeah.
my testing and
They
my
must not
classwork.
have scored homework as part of your grades because a lot of teachers do. Where if you don't do your homework, then you don't get the homework grade,
Well,
and
no,
now you're
I did my homework, but I wasn't as focused at home.
got it.
I would probably maybe get like, for example purposes, 70s on homework
Homeworks,
as opposed
okay.
to like 90s on tests and 87, 88 when classwork. I don't know how
Yeah.
the races work exactly, but
Yeah.
my focus was not on homework like it should have been, and I feel like that probably is because I was doing so much with like practices and stuff. Our practice in high school would probably go from, so school got out at 2:30. We would practice from 3 to about 5, sometimes 3 to 6 every day when it came to
Mhm.
basketball. So, we had to take the bus home, shower, eat dinner.
Yeah.
By that time, it was already time to get ready for
To get
bed.
ready for bed.
Yeah, so I didn't really have a whole lot of time to focus on my homework.
And that doesn't even add in any extra practice you want to do.
Extra practices, chores, life.
Life.
Yeah,
Just life.
Yeah. So I probably could have made more of a focus to get my homework done on the bus.
Ooh, but that's dedication.
Yeah. Well, you spend an hour 15 on the bus.
You might as well. I used to take the bus home too, but it wasn't. Once we moved, I had to take a bus to the train, to a train, to another bus. But half of that ride, I was with my bestie. So who was doing homework?
Yeah, exactly. See, I was with my teammates.
Who was doing homework on the bus ride?
Yeah. So
when I got these people with me,
I would say if you can, I know it's near impossible. If you can be 100% focused on your schooling and 100% focused on your sports at the same time, obviously go for that. There's probably going to be a little bit of sacrifice either way.
Yeah. It's not a perfect world. It's not enough time.
No one's going to be able to do 100% of both.
Not enough time.
Right? So find a good balance that works for you, and make sure that you're not slacking on anything too much. Like, you might be naturally more gifted at sports than you are when it comes to schoolwork. So your schoolwork might need a little more focus than your sports might need, right? Or if you can manage both pretty well, it really depends on the person.
Was there a point where you thought about dropping a sport? Or was it too much at one point? We're just like, okay, well, now I'm doing this, I'm doing this, and on top of the schooling. Was there any point you thought about it?
No, I feel like I had a pretty good system in place. Yeah. Even including the fact that I was not focused on homework like I should have been. I feel like I was still maintaining my grades enough to be able to play.
Yeah, it sounds like enough information. Sounds like you were doing pretty good.
I was doing pretty good, and then I didn't make the baseball team, but I played in the City League baseball, and so the good news is that you're not playing. You're not allowed to play more than one sport a season
at a time. Yeah,
like I couldn't do track and football. I couldn't do,
because those were at the same season.
I couldn't do wrestling and basketball.
Mm-hmm. That's good. That's good.
It is. You can only play one sport a season, so I made my focus. I kept trying for baseball in the spring, even though I didn't make it. But I was doing basketball, and I was doing in the winter, and I was doing football in the fall.
I feel like I know the answer to this question, but I'm going to ask it anyways for the people who don't know.
Okay.
If you can choose one sport forever to play, to watch, to just be around, rugby.
Dang, you took my joke. I was going to say shuffleboard.
What would that sport be?
Be basketball for sure.
Yeah.
No doubt about it. Mm-hmm. No doubt about it.
I feel like mine...
Snorkeling.
No, not snorkeling. I don't want to drown. Yeah. Even though you're breathing while you're snorkeling. I don't know if I would want to pick one sport forever. Because I like tennis, but I was just playing tennis. I wasn't immersed in tennis. I
feel like I was immersed in basketball, and then I was able to switch gears for each season. Softball,
yes.
Spring, baseball, softball, fall, or football or soccer.
One more question. What lessons have sports taught you that help you outside of athletics? So in life, in school. Like, what's something that sports taught you?
Sports builds character for sure. You're not going to win every game. You might go into the expectation of winning every game.
I mean, you would hope so.
You would hope that is a goal. That is a goal, right? Yeah. To be able to win every game. But you gotta understand that there's gonna be wins and losses. There's gonna be battles because you might be the toughest person out there. But you might be up against the toughest team out there.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
And also, even if you do win, that doesn't mean you play good. Could have been a team win. It could have been.
I've had plenty of games where I felt like I wasn't making any of my shots, but I got my teammates involved and I was able to contribute defensively. So keep that in mind. Just because you're not scoring well doesn't mean that you're not a good player. It doesn't mean that you can't contribute. You got to be able to. I'm doing basketball references again, but you got to be able to find other ways to get involved in the game when you're not scoring very well.
So how does that translate to lessons that it taught you?
You have to find different outlets, different route to take. The easiest route might not always be the best route. You know what I mean? You got to explore different opportunities and see how you can get involved because you could just up and leave, which is the worst route to take.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But it's a very easy route.
Yeah, I feel like some kids that's a natural thing because again, with our child, remember when we in Colton when we played tennis?
I was just about to say the tennis situation.
the tennis. We were playing tennis, and he was still a wee lad. What, maybe 4?
Yeah.
And obviously he can't play like us, but we're hitting the ball softly to him so he can hit it back.
His expectation is, I'm gonna send this ball. I'm gonna do everything I'm supposed to do.
And he's missing everything, and now he's in the corner crying. So, so I think that's a natural thing to just want to quit, I guess.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Also, a natural thing to want to come out and be a superstar from the jump.
Yeah.
You see other people doing it and say, I can do that.
I can do that.
You don't realize the amount of work and effort they put into it to getting where they're at now.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. So I think we can wrap it up. We're talking multi-sport versus single sport and also balancing the academics with it. So what are our takeaways? Team multi-sport, team single sport.
Team multi-sport for sure.
Okay.
Team multi-sport for sure. I think you can still specialize within being a multi-sport.
Very true. Very true.
And I think that's where I'm at. I think I specialize in basketball, even though I keep myself well-rounded and I play other sports also. Because I feel like I have a pretty good balance with like soccer, baseball, and football. But basketball has always been my passion, always been my number one sport. Explore many sports, see what works best for you guys. If you don't end up liking it, you can always fall back in specializing. Nobody would blame you. But at least get out there and try and see first. Because like I said, you don't want to be spending your whole life playing soccer and not realize that you probably were the best baseball player.
Right, exactly. That is a true point. But you also won't be able to know that at 7.
Not at 7. That's true.
So, if you do find out that you're naturally gifted in something, why not go for it? Because it's hard to put all your eggs in one basket. Like, okay, I've been playing soccer my whole life, but now I'm really good at basketball, but it might be a little too late.
Yep.
But again, if you're just that good, then maybe it's not. So
great points from my wife Amber over here. Always asking great questions.
Thanks.
I think we are ready to wrap it up. Do you have anything else you want to add?
No.
Okay, cool. All right. So thank you guys for joining us today. We hope to see you guys in the next episode and take care.
Bye-bye.